I'm going to look at this importing feature into Smartsheets that is in Table View. How does it compare to SSFeatures import? If you have say a new sheet, right? Originally, whenever you would go to File, Import, and you would say Import Excel, for example, it used to be that it would, even though you were in the sheet, you would import, and it would always just create a new sheet somewhere else. And now that if you notice that import feature here doesn't really do anything. It directs you to go to this workspace panel and import. So that's kind of interesting. So if we follow it, it's saying go here and go import. So now when I do that, you'll see it's actually going to create a new sheet. It's going to create another new sheet, but it's going to create it here, not in the folder I was in. And it's going to open up this dialog, and it's going to automatically put it into table view. I have this sheet right here. It has 100 records in it with a header row. We're going to see what happens when we do that. Bring it over here. And it gives you this panel here, the import details. And it looks a little different than it used to. And at first glance, it's kind of a little hard to, it's different, I guess I should say. It's not the traditional importing into a sheet mapping view that you would see, like a grid. It's much more text-based. Almost looks like an AI prompt. I don't know. But if you expand that, we have the option to replace sheet data. That's it. You can choose a different tab if you happen to have a different tab. I really only have, well, I have 2 tabs, but I only care about the import of Guru stores, which is not the best English. Okay. Row 1 is going to be the column header. And I can choose to change the primary column if I wish. But I will use store name as primary column. And we still have the include formulas, or you could even include empty rows if you wanted to. And then, of course, here's where you can change your columns. You can change the type of the columns as you bring them in. So there is that option. You can also choose to not bring in a column. It's kind of neat. You have a little search columns here. So they made a few improvements, I guess. If we want to import that, it's going to say importing into here is going to wipe out all the data in the sheet. So this importer view is actually going to import into the sheet that you're looking at. So you continue import, and it's going to do its thing. It's not the fastest little utility I've found, but it does it. It's not the fastest thing, is it? There we go. Ooh, finally. Okay. And this is only 100 rows. Let's see. It brought in, didn't do the best job, did it? Let's see. I'm gonna refresh that. Let's see. Maybe it's something when I did it, but I'm pretty sure I had all the columns checked. Okay, so it did bring it in. There was just a lag. I had to refresh. So, yeah. So it brought everything in. Okay, and I guess you could play with this from here. I'll just rename this to I'm gonna grab that in, but bring that into that folder. So that's how the importer works when you're creating a new sheet kind of flow, which is the same thing I did here yesterday. I was playing around with it and I did it there. Now let me actually do something here. I'm gonna save this as new. I'm gonna create one of these with just 50 rows in it. Okay. Now this file, 50 records, import Guru stores. In this, let's see, update import. When you have an existing sheet in table view, I know I'm seeing that I only brought 99 in. Okay. Oh, I didn't notice that before. That's interesting though. Let's see about this one. This is the one we just did. Did it bring in? Okay, so it brought in a blank row. Maybe something was funny in my import. I'm not going to condemn the importer yet until I troubleshoot that more. But okay, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to choose import and bring in that 50 records file. I'm just going to leave everything as is. But if you'll notice, there's only an option to replace the sheet data. So it gives you the warning, importing will remove all the existing data. So import and see what happens. Well, we know what will happen. Well, we're going to wipe out everything and be left with 50 rows because that's what our file has. And so my point in showing this is it's not you can't use this to merge data. And there's that, oh wait, leave my file though. Okay, that makes sense. I only went to row 50, so that's okay. That's good. I actually had 49 records in there, not 50. I went by the row number, not the other one. So even though this is table view, it's bringing in the immediately it brings in the store name, but we need to refresh before we can see the actual rest of the stuff here. Okay. Yeah, there you go. So it's okay, I guess. If you have an existing sheet, you want to wipe it out with new data. Yeah, this works. Okay. Let's go to grid view here. And remember, we have our SSFeatures importer, which works more like data shuttle, really. I'm gonna choose a file there. I'm gonna do this 50 records, say next. And we can append the data to the bottom of the sheet. We can replace all the sheet rows, so we can wipe everything out and replace it. Or we can merge data, based on a key column value, which is where you would do the mapping. We would say probably store ID, and if we wanted to make updates, we could do that. However, let's see. I'm just going to append it to the bottom just because I don't have any changes to make. And I'm just kind of showing this real quick. Your store opening. That was your store opening. Yeah, and we have options to deal with the dates too. But there we go. Bam, we just popped at the bottom. So actually a lot quicker too. But I save that. So that's kind of some updates to the importer with the table view. So if you see things like, oh, you can now import into the existing sheet in Smartsheet, sure you can in table view, but it's not particularly full featured, I would say. There it is. So I thought you might be interested to see that.